Hello, students. A very good morning to you all. Wishing you all a very happy new year. I welcome you back for our online classes as usual. Okay, now we begin with term 2. I repeat, term 2. Okay, so in term 2, we are going to start with chapter number 12, that is our history. Now, chapter number 11, you must be thinking, is our heritage, which is a project based chapter which we are going to talk about later on. Okay, so coming to chapter number 12, that is our history. Okay, now India has a glorious past. Okay, we are on page number 78 of your textbook. India has a glorious past. Glorious means beautiful. Okay, wonderful history going back nearly 5,000 years. Now we are going to talk about the history nearly about 5,000 years ago. Our history is broadly divided into three periods. Okay, three periods. The first is the ancient period. Okay, ancient is the prehistory around 700 CE. Okay, the medieval period from 700 CE to 1750 CE, and the third is the modern period. The modern period is the period in which we are staying. Okay, this is modern period. Now on the same page you can see the line. Okay, this is a number line. Okay, look at the ancient period, medieval period, and this which is going on or which we are dwelling in is the modern period. So first, today we are only going to talk about the ancient period. Okay, it will be covered in the remaining parts, that is the medieval period and the modern period. Ancient is the word. Ancient means very, very old. Okay, ancient period. Historians or people who study history tell us that there was a very advanced civilization near the Indus River, now in Pakistan, in about 2500 BCE. This was the Indus Valley civilization. Now, you must be thinking about what is the meaning of the word historians. Historians are people who study history. Okay, historians are people who study history. They are telling us about very advanced civilization. Okay, civilization is the way people live together in a certain place at a certain time. I repeat, the word civilization means the way people live together in a certain place at a certain time. Now, this advanced civilization near the Indus River. Now, Indus River is now in Pakistan in about 2500 BCE, that is before Christ era. This was known as the Indus Valley civilization. Why? Because it was near river Indus. It is also called, I repeat, it is also called the Harappan civilization. Now, this Indus Valley civilization is also called Harappan civilization. Why? Because Harappa was the first city to be discovered from this civilization. I repeat, Indus Valley civilization is also called the Harappan civilization because Harappa was the first city to be discovered from this civilization. The next is Mohenjo-daro, which is another important city which was discovered in this region. The Indus Valley civilization stretched, I repeat, the Indus Valley civilization stretched from the northwestern India to present day Pakistan. Now you can see in the map given besides, okay, the location of the Indus Valley civilization. We can very clearly see in the map besides, okay, it shows us the river Indus. We can also see Mohenjo-daro, which is another important city which was discovered in this region. The Indus Valley civilization stretched from northwestern India. See, it is northwestern India. You can see the part covered in this civilization. To the present day Pakistan. We can see it is covering the present day Pakistan. Before India became independent, it was united. Okay, this was one nation only. Okay, after independence it became India and Pakistan. The Indus Valley people built well planned cities with important buildings such as the Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro and the granary in Harappa. Now these were the important buildings. I repeat, these were the important buildings built in Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. Okay, Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro and the granary in Harappa. We are going to see the pictures of both given on page number 79. If you would like to take a look, you can see on page number 79 the pictures of the remains of Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro and the remains of the granary in Harappa. Seals, pottery, jewelry and other remains of the civilization. These were the things, okay, the things, remains of this civilization that have been found. They tell us about remains of this civilization that have been found. They tell us about the people who lived during this time, about their lives and the things they used. I repeat, seals, pottery, jewelry and other remains of the civilization. Okay, these things were found and they tell us about what kind of people lived over there, which things they used. These were found. Okay, around 1500 BCE, some tribes came from Central Asia to India. I repeat, around 1500 BCE, that is before Christ era. Some tribes means people, tribal, we have learned the word meaning of the word tribe, okay, came from Central Asia to India. They were called Indo-Aryans. They drove away the people already living in the North India, whom they called Dasas or Dasyas, and settled here. See how people came from Central Asia to India. They were known as Indo-Aryans. What they did, they drove away the people who were already living over there. Okay, already living in the North India. And they themselves settled here. Okay, just imagine how they came to capture the nation. They were known as Indo-Aryans. They came and settled over there. We can see in the picture the remains of the Great Bath in Mohenjo-daro and the remains of the granary in Harappa. Okay, these were in olden times. Things were like this. Now, these Indo-Aryans, they settled over there. So, what they did? The Aryans grew crops. Why? Because they settled near the river Indus. Okay, so water was there. Plenty of water was available. So they grew crops because when you settle down or when we need to fulfill our needs, we need crops to grow. Okay, they domesticated animals. They domesticated animals. Domesticate means to make a wild animal obey and work for you. Domesticated animals means making a wild animal obey and work for you. So these Indo-Aryans, they grew crops and domesticated animals. They performed open air ceremonies and sacrifices. Okay, they performed open air because there were no houses like us nowadays. We have big buildings, flats, bungalows. During olden time, there were no big houses, so they performed open air ceremonies. There were no halls and theaters and nothing. So they performed open air ceremonies and sacrifices. As the Vedas were written at this period, in this period means in the ancient period, Vedas were written. You must have heard the name of the word Vedas. This period is called the Vedic age. Ancient period is called the Vedic age. Why? Because Vedas were written. Now you must be thinking, what are Vedas? But when you will know what are Vedas, you must have heard the book Ramayana and Mahabharata. A number of other books such as the epics of the Ramayana and Mahabharata and the Upanishads were also written during this period. Okay, Vedas are the holy books. These books tell us a lot about the people of this time. Powerful kings and Rajans ruled with the help of Purohits or the royal priests and the Senani or the commander of the army. I repeat, powerful kings. Powerful kings or the Rajans ruled with the help of the Purohits or the royal priests and the Senanis of the commander of the army. Now these Purohits are nothing but nowadays we have the pujaris and all. Okay, the royal priest. We all know that the person in temples, the head of the church, okay, who help us to perform all the puja, okay, the Senani or the commander of the army to safeguard or protect the place. So what we learnt is about the Indus Valley civilization which developed at the Harappan civilization, and which Harappa was the first city, Mohenjo-daro was the another city that was discovered in this period. It is Indus Valley civilization because it was near river Indus, presently in Pakistan. This period is also known as the Vedic age. Okay, epics were written, that is the holy books, the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Powerful kings ruled with the helps of Purohit and royal priest. Now, during this period, there were a number of Janapadas or small kingdoms in North India. Now, what are Janapadas? Janapadas are small kingdoms in North India. Okay, they were the small kingdoms during this period. Later, most of them were conquered by the rulers of Magad, which became one of the most powerful kingdoms in North India. I repeat, during this period, there are a number of Janapadas or small kingdoms, small kingdoms. Like here, no? If I tell you Rajkot, the small nearby places, that is Morbi, Gondal, Jaipur, They are small kingdoms. Okay, I'm just giving the example like that. Okay, so this during this period there were number of Janapadas or small kingdoms in North India. Later on, what happened? They were conquered by the rulers of Magad, which became the most powerful kingdoms of the in the North India. In 326 BCE, I repeat, in 326 BCE, Alexander, the ruler of Macedonia in Greece, attacked India. I repeat, Alexander, the ruler of Macedonia in Greece, attacked India. He defeated King Porus of Punjab. He defeated King Porus of Punjab, but was very impressed with Porus' bravery. Alexander had to go back to his soldiers. Was very tired. Alexander had to go back as his soldiers were very tired of fighting. And while going back home, on his way, he died. Okay, Alexander died while going back home. Why? Because his soldiers were very tired. Now, in 321 BCE, Chandragupta Maurya became the ruler of Magad. Okay, we learnt about this, no? Janapadas, small kingdoms, and later most of them were conquered by Magad. Okay, which became the most powerful. Now, Chandragupta Maurya became the ruler of Magad. He founded a new empire. The Mauryan Empire. With the help of his advisor, Kautilya. Kautilya was there to help him, to guide him. Okay, with his guidance, he set up a new empire, founded a new empire. Later, his grandson, whose grandson? Chandragupta Maurya's grandson, Ashoka, became the emperor. Okay, later on he became the emperor. Ashoka was a very brave ruler. He fought a war against a kingdom called Kalinga. Now, when he became the ruler, his grandson means Ashoka, whose grandson? Chandragupta Maurya's grandson, Ashoka became the emperor. When he became the emperor, he fought a war against a kingdom called Kalinga. Kalinga is the name of a kingdom place. However, he became so upset by the bloodshed and loss of life that he did not fight any wars after that. Who became upset? Ashoka became upset. Why did he become upset? Because he saw the bloodshed and the loss of life. Whenever there is a war always causes destruction. Okay? It is in no one's favor. War always creates destruction. So this Ashoka was very, very upset because many people lost their lives and the bloodshed. After seeing all this, he did not fight any wars after that. He embraced Buddhism and helped spread it in India. Okay, Ashoka embraced Buddhism and he helped in spreading this in India and other Asian countries also. Ashoka got many rock and pillar inscriptions written and put up in different parts of his empire so that people could read his messages on them. One such example we can see in the given picture, that is the Ashokan pillar in New Delhi. You can see the picture of Ashokan pillar in New Delhi. he got these empire, these pillars put up in different parts of the empire. Why? So that people can read what messages are written. After the Mauryas, the Guptas ruled over India. I repeat, after the Mauryas, Guptas ruled over India in the 4th and the 5th centuries CE. In the 4th and the 5th centuries CE. They were very powerful rulers. Who were powerful rulers? The Guptas were very powerful rulers. And India became a rich country under them. Some historians call this period the golden age of ancient India. Okay, this 4th and 5th century was known as the golden age of ancient India. Art and culture made progress. Science, mathematics, astronomy, and grammar also developed. Okay, a lot of progress took place in the time of the Guptas. Okay, it was the country, the rulers were very powerful, and during their rule, India became very rich under them. Okay, a lot of progress was made in art and culture, science, mathematics, astronomy, grammar also developed. So this was the things that took place in the ancient period. Now in the later part we are going to study about the medieval period, about the modern period, what all things happen. So it is not necessary, as I keep on saying, that everyone understands everything at the first go, but you try to read page number 78 and 79. Not only once, maybe twice, maybe thrice. Do not get panic under any situations. It is just a beginning. Okay. Try to read. Okay. That's all for today. In the next topic, in the next class, we are going to cover about the medieval period and the modern period. As I told you, our history is divided into 3 periods: ancient period, medieval period, and the modern period. That's all for today. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.